We have a saying in our practice that clients are clients for life. They come to us at the worst part of their life when things have come really down, and we really try to give them the opportunity for a future through the lawsuit. But the lawsuit isn't the end of our relationship. In fact, we think of that as the beginning, and really they are connected to us through community events and all sorts of other events that we run to be really part of our growing family. We also pride ourselves in being innovative with technology. I am a passionate person about use of technology, and I always try to bring the latest cutting edge software to see if we can do things a little different and a little better for our clients. We have 4 practice areas. We do medical malpractice, personal injury, sexual abuse, mass tort, and class action, and we believe we have the top lawyers in each of those categories. They're well recognized by their peers across the country. They've been through many trials, and they're recognized that way. The client is the most important part of why we do what we do. We accomplish what we believe is great client care by, first of all, listening. The most important thing, listening to what our clients' needs are. Secondly, communicating and making sure the client gets as many updates as possible about what they need. Finally, advocating. That's what we do. We're advocates. We got to make sure our clients' needs are first and that we can advocate for them. We have to be empathetic, and we have to really listen to what their needs are. That takes time. It takes time to develop that trust. In some areas of our practice, it may take a lot of time for them to gain the trust that they can rely on us. I love talking about the future. I'm very optimistic about the future, and I think it's exciting. In terms of where our practice is going and where our practice is going to meet our clients' needs, we're going to have to be evolving with our technology, our workflow, as well as our compassion. Those 3 areas are all evolving in the next 10 years. In terms of representing clients, clients are going to want more from their lawyers. And empathy and compassion is going to be something that they're going to be looking for. It's no longer commonplace for a lawyer to sit up on its high ledge and say that I've got all the knowledge and you must listen to me and this is the advice and take it or leave it. That approach is already going away. And as we go into the future and information is more widely available, clients are going to look for something deeper than that. They're going to want an empathetic, cooperative helper and advocate through this system. And that's where I think our firm has an advantage. We've already learned how to be trauma-informed. We're already aware of how clients can appreciate that approach to advocacy. And that is the direction that our firm is heading.
哎呀，也觉得的话呢，通过他们的尽心尽力、尽职尽责这样的一个工作态度，所以的话，我的案子啊，很快的就结束了。我呢，获得了真的我们家人都没有意想不到的一个赔偿。然后我觉得特别的感谢律师事务所，真的是可信的。
A multi-generational firm that started over 60 years ago. My dad started this practice in the 60s, and I took it over in 2013. Got my son also in law school, perhaps the next generation of Gluckstein.
1962 is when I graduated. There was no advertising. So the only way that your name could get out there is by your reputation. I had a passion for doing litigation.
Our clients are with us full circle, and what we mean by that is that even when their case is finished, we like to stay in touch with our clients. We like them to be part of our expanding family. It's not just about the work we do for them, but it's about what we do to impact their lives and how they impact our lives. It's very important that that culture rings true with our staff and our clients. That's what it means when we think of Gluckstein. Family is the most important characteristic of what we want people to think of when they think of Gluckstein. That is true for our staff, and it is true for our clients. Our staff are part of our family.
My whole practice was doing counsel work. Lawyers talk amongst each other, clients refer other clients to you, and before long, your reputation is that you're a fearless fighter, but you're fair.
The firm was founded on this expertise that my dad brought to personal injury was at the core of what we did. And the personal injury industry has evolved. Everything evolves over time, and you have to be ready to change. The client's needs change, technology changes, the legal industry changes. And in personal injury, it also changed. COVID-19 had a dramatic effect. We have a culture that requires us to be supportive of our community. It is such a great feeling when you can give back to your community. And I think as a professional, you have to do something beyond what you do as a profession. It is important to support your community, to give back, to donate your time, volunteer, mentor.
First of all, again, having not ever gone through it before, the process can be a little daunting. Like I said, I did have discussions with other firms, and it seemed, perhaps with one of them, not naming anyone, felt more like just a number. Whereas with Gluckstein, you again could tell that it was more of a caring kind of family environment. I would say for those reasons, those are probably the biggest thing, because it's a very upsetting thing to go through. This isn't like a business deal. These are humans. This was my father, a parent. So very obviously the most important thing for me.
Well, let me start off by saying when I graduated from law school in 1962, life was quite different than it is now. There was no internet, there were no fax machines, there was no Google, no cell phones. Typewriters were manual, and the only copy you had was a carbon copy, which you then put in your file. There was no docketing. So how does a young lawyer start off in practice in a small firm and earn his reputation? Because your reputation is everything at that stage. And I learned that it's important to give full circle care, even at that early stage of my career, to that client. First of all, when I interview a client, I find out when their birthday is. I find out what type of family they have. Especially in the early days, I would go to the client's home. I'd understand what that client was all about. That client would then become a friend.
The most important distinction, I think, between us and others in the industry, and we're not exclusively people who have experience or others with experience, but there aren't that many people with the experience needed to manage these cases. And I have decades of experience representing children in these cases. I have access to experts who really know the field. As I said, we have extensive literature on these things. So we provide a lot of experience, and I think that there is no substitute for experience in representing children and families affected by birth trauma. Every case is different, and it's important to approach every case in accordance with the unique or singular facts of the case. Birth trauma cases aren't like other kinds of even medical malpractice cases. They have their unique challenges on both standard of care and causation, and there are few challenges that I haven't yet seen in over 3 decades of experience doing these cases. So I think it's our experience and our depth of practice that allows people to feel comfortable with us in knowing that they're in good hands.
No amount of money, and the judges say this and the courts say this, no amount of money is going to put somebody back together after an accident. But what we do find is when your clients find somebody that'll be on their side, when your clients find somebody that'll fight for them, when your clients get an insurance company or a defendant to look them in the eye at a mediation and say, we're sorry, we know we did wrong, it helps them with, I think, the psychological healing process. A lot of people, when they're injured in an accident, they feel abandoned. They feel let down. By fighting for them, or by willing to go the extra mile, I think you can provide that level of psychological support for them, and you can help them with the healing process. What I like about the firm, and I'd like to pass this on to people that are considering whether they would want to work with us, is this. This firm does believe in fearless advocacy. It does believe on taking on the case that maybe other people aren't going to take. It believes in excellence in technology, in legal skills, in quality of people, and in outcome. And I think the firm cares. And we live in a world where not every business, not every law firm cares. And being able to go somewhere where you know they're going to do an excellent job and they're going to care is something I think people should consider when they decide if they want to do business with us.
Each client is a human being that has a history and an event that brought them to see us. To me, to fully represent them effectively, I need to know their history, and I need them to know that I'm on their side. Even though I'm not a social worker, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a policeman. We are dealing with clients who have these relationships with all these other disciplines, and I want them to know that I'm a safe place to talk to. I'm somebody that they can rely on and depend on. So to me, communication is key, and making the client know that I'm there for them through this process is so important.
We were in traffic court, and then there was a civil suit as well. So I had no idea, and him and his team were so supportive. They helped me so much. They guided me through the whole process. They were always there for me when I had questions, and they also helped connect me with some health practitioners to help with me with my healing process.
To me, I think what sets Gluckstein apart is the client communication and the dedication to each and every client. The clients are not just a number to us. It's not just a file to open and settle and close. It's a file, it's a human who has a life, who has a story that needs to be told and heard. Some cases can go many years before an ending or successful result. Other cases can resolve earlier, but depending on where that client is on the journey, no matter where that client is on the journey, to make them know that they're important to us, we believe we're important to them, and make sure we continue on that relationship together.
They've been very good with me, and I can't say enough. They have my utmost respect. Time that I saw them right from the beginning to the end when we finished with the compensation, and even though I did receive my settlement, I still feel like I have friends here, and I still keep in touch with Jonathan and his team, and I make a point of it because I'm grateful for all their guidance.
What I love about this type of law, which is something you don't really practice or learn about in law school, is the human connection and the human relationships with clients. To me, in order to advocate for a personal injury client successfully, you have to know all about them, their medical history, their psychological history, the trauma of the event that brought them to us, relationships, failed relationships, new relationships, all the really important things and challenging things that we all experience in all our lives, whether we're in an accident or not. Really getting to know the client and representing them is such a special part of this type of law. I don't think a lot of other areas of law have, and to me it's the most meaningful part of it, because at the end of a case, when you have a successful result, and then you have a client who, aside from just being happy with their compensation from the case, but really appreciates the time we put in, the journey that we were on together, and that successful ending, to me that's more meaningful than any paycheck that comes from one case. The firm has grown in numbers, the style has not changed, and that's the most important thing to me. The teamwork that we had when we were only 5 or 6 lawyers is the same teamwork we have with the many lawyers that we have now through different departments. I can rely on my colleagues to help me with cases, they can rely on me. It really is a team approach between the lawyers, clerks, admin staff. And so even though the firm has grown in numbers, that family feel and the dedication to the individual client has never changed. And that's been absolutely essential to me thriving here and continuing my commitment to our clients.
We as a firm are very committed to making sure that people that come to us receive the best care possible. We are committed to trauma-informed principles. We take a lot of pride in being one of the leading firms when it comes to dealing with clients through trauma-informed practices, and we maintain contact with clients to try to help them along as much as possible.
I felt protected. I felt like somebody was in my corner for a change.
Litigation is difficult, and what we try to do is we try to listen to clients, inform them of every step in the process so there are no surprises. We try to be as non-judgmental as possible. Mostly we're there for them. We try to understand as best we can, and we try to inform them to what's happening so that they feel comfortable in the process.
It's not like, you know, Mark, here we got a settlement, it's over with, and move on with your life. We still keep in touch, Simona and I, and she's a wonderful human being besides just being a great lawyer. And Kevin and Simona, they were just fantastic right up to today. I consider her more than just a lawyer to me. She's like a friend, somebody that I can trust for advice, whether if I need a lawyer for another issue. She's a great reference.
Being a part of this firm is very exciting because this firm is committed to not only doing excellent work for their clients, but also moving the envelope forward in order to best serve everybody. That we do through our various conferences throughout the year, the fact that our lawyers are all involved in board of directors and helping the communities. It is not just simply a place to come to do your 9 to 5 and to get a job done. It is actually a place where people are committed to not only legal excellence, but also moving society towards a better place.
The Gluckstein firm is involved in every aspect of personal injury work, whether it is motor vehicle, medical malpractice, sexual abuse and assault, occupiers liability, mass torts, class proceedings, and so on. The firm does take on litigation in all of those areas, so we have a diverse client base. People come to us with all manner of injury, often serious injury. Their lives are completely disrupted, or their families' lives are disrupted in a very serious way. They come with expectations that we're going to be able to help, not only financially, but in other ways. The financial compensation is an important part of what we do. That's largely why people go to lawyers in this particular area. It's an important part of what we do, and we try our best to maximize that for clients. But there is a much broader range of services that are provided along the way to assist clients in their recovery so that they could essentially be their best selves, notwithstanding the often very serious challenges that they face because of injuries, accidents, and whatever brings them to our firm in the first place.
As a firm, we emphasize compassionate client care. We are trauma-informed, and we approach our clients in a trauma-informed way. We listen, we take our time. We try to empower our clients to have choice in the case wherever they can. I can provide the legal advice to the best of my ability, but the decision-making is theirs so that they can feel some sense of control over the direction of their case. The firm as a whole, I think that it's a very client-centered firm. We really care about our clients here, and that's no matter whether you're in our group or any of the other groups. Our firm really wants the best for their clients.
What I have told people, and which I will forever tell people, is that this is a very honest company. They have your interests in mind, and they will always fight for you.